Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. It is Tuesday, May 23rd, and we're going to talk Smackdown live. Wait for some of you guys to get here in the chat, and then we'll get going. Tonight's Smackdown was an okay show. I mean, it wasn't anything that you can say, oh, I gotta go see. There's a good main event tag team match. Other than that, it was interesting how they got to all 6 guys in Money in the Bank. The tag team stuff was, in my opinion, pretty good. I liked it. It was interesting how they did things. They made it seem like they were doing things on the fly, which was kind of cool. And other than that, I mean, it was just a show. So we got Andre Suicida here with us so far. Killa Nick, what's going on, guys? Like I said, I'm going to talk SmackDown. I did see the street fight from 205 Live, and I did see something on Talking Smack that most people didn't expect as well. Wait for some more of you guys to get in here, and we'll get going. Send out these links to let everybody know, hey, we're live. All right. So as we wait for people to get in here, let's start running down SmackDown. SmackDown started off with a police motorcade. A black car and a limo showed up. The Singh brothers got out, and they pulled some magic carpet-looking thing out the back of their SUV, I guess. And then they went over to the limo, put their magic carpet down, wiped it all off and whatnot, and then Jinder came out. Jinder just stood there with the championships. You can see his side plates on his title are nothing special. They just say Jinder Mahal. There's no logo or anything like some people usually get, you know. And then it went to the arena. Tom Phillips called the action as far as saying, hey, we're here live. This is SmackDown Live. And then Shane McMahon came out. Shane McMahon looked up as there was a blue Money in the Bank briefcase above him. He said that tonight we're here to announce the 5 participants in this year's Money in the Bank ladder match. Oh. So he said, let me introduce them to you. And they all came out one at a time. We first had AJ Styles. We then had Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and then everyone was expecting Nakamura because, you know, everybody was in the ring. It got quiet, and Kevin Owens came out. Kevin Owens got about halfway down the ramp, and Shane goes, whoa, what are you doing? Cut his music. You know you're not in this match. Send out my last participant. And out came Shinsuke Nakamura. Got his full entrance. People got to sing it. Cool, whatever. And then Kevin Owens goes, really? All these guys deserve to be in this match? He's like, okay, Nakamura, you won your match. Cool. Sammy, you won. But I beat AJ. Corbin lost. Dolph lost, you know. And so he was like, I should be in this match because I won my match at Backlash. So Shane McMahon does the right thing and says, you know what? Fine. You can be in this match. And then we had each participant say why they're going to win. You know, AJ said this is the house that AJ Styles built. He's not here to see the underdog win or the lone wolf or the face of America or the what do you call Nakamura, the rock star, superstar. And then Nakamura, they all got on the mic, and then Nakamura was like, this is for you who don't know who I am. I'm Shinsuke Nakamura. But you can call me Mr. Money in a Bank. Pointed up at the Money in the Bank. And then they made some matches for later on in the night. They made Sammy Corbin rematch. And then they made Nakamura and AJ versus Dolph and Kevin Owens. And that's pretty much started off SmackDown Live. Let's see who has joined us here in the live stream. We've got Ted Zancha, Troy Gonzalez, Michael Brent, Lucid TV, Ryan Armstrong, Troy Gonzalez. What's going on, guys? Michael Brent says Corbin, next Money in the Bank winner. DeAndre Dukes, no Rusev tonight. Yeah, no Rusev tonight. Let's take this phone call before we keep going. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Good news.
Pretty good.
I saw your tweet about the women's title match and Money in the Bank.
Right.
I'm thinking if there's only 4, they could put in Lana and Maria. You don't think about that?
Oh, I didn't think about that, but at the same time, who knows if they're even going to debut in time? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true, but that was one thing I was talking about. Thinking.
Right.
And
Because first off, don't mean to cut you off, but the Maria thing, that could make sense. But we don't even know if they're going to bring Maria in to wrestle or if they just want her to be a pretty face like Maurice is. We don't know that yet. And as far as Lana, we know they want her to wrestle because she's been wrestling at the NXT house shows. But I don't know if they want to put her in the ladder match because I don't think she's anywhere near ready for something like that, to be honest.
yeah, but you think they could make a 4-way? I mean, 4 women.
I mean, they could. And people have said before, if you put too many women in that, like, people have been talking about doing this for like 3-4 years now, like rumors and people online. And everyone usually says the more women you put in, the more discombobulated it's going to be. So maybe the plan is to only do 4 women. We don't know. Like I said, the news broke today by Pro Wrestling Sheet, and all they knew was that it was the plan to do a woman's Money in the Bank ladder match. But other than that, they didn't know any more information as far as how many women, what women. And like we saw tonight, with Naomi having to defend her title, there's 2 women right there that aren't going to be in it. We already knew Naomi wouldn't be in there. And so it's probably, if the rumors are true, they're going to go Carmella challenging Naomi. So.
And what did you think about the Fashion Police today? I think that was funny.
I liked
All
it.
their
I really liked it.
Funny. Yeah, I'm glad they're giving them a chance.
Right, but with them, I thought maybe they would do the 2 singles matches tonight, and then they would ask for the tag title match and say, no, you're going to get it next week. But with them doing the tag title match tonight, it kind of makes me feel like they're done with Breezango, and they're going to move on to the New Day. Because if you didn't see, New Day was on Talking Smack.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it, and I'm surprised they kept them like for 10 minutes or something like that.
Right.
Talking to them.
Yeah. I saw a couple minutes. I didn't see the whole thing. I really just saw the first few minutes of their thing on Talking Smack.
Yeah. And the other thing, I was surprised that they didn't give AJ or Nakamura their entrance before their match.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I was surprised.
Because with Nakamura, you can say, well, they already did it at the beginning of the show when they announced him for Money in the Bank. And then AJ kind of got half of his entrance. So that makes a little sense.
Yeah. So, what you think about the Punjabi celebration? I thought, to be honest, I thought Randy Orton was gonna come in and destroy stuff.
I thought Randy was at least gonna show up somehow, whether he just comes out and says that your time's limited. I'm gonna take that title back in my hometown, and that's the other thing to think of. They made note that Money in the Bank is in Randy Orton's hometown, and what happens when a wrestler fights in their hometown? They lose. And they made note of that.
But this time, I think it's going to be the other way around.
I honestly don't.
It's true. Go ahead first.
Okay. WWE is doing a tour of India in September. Do not be surprised if Jinder is still the champion by then.
Sure. Because I was thinking, because they said they want to do a Randy Orton and AJ, right?
That's what I had heard, but that was a month ago. The Jinder thing was put together a month ago at the last minute, so everything's changed right now. They're changing a lot of things.
And my odds right now to win the Money in the Bank, I think is Baron Corbin, because I don't know if it was you or somebody else was saying that they want to push him at the end of the year.
Right, they want to push Baron. Like JBL says every week, Baron Corbin, he's a future world champion. He's going to get the title one day. And I've heard that it could be sometime by the end of this year, maybe not getting the title, but making him a legitimate contender as far as challenging for the championship. But they want to push him like the Braun Strowman of SmackDown, pretty much.
Yeah, that kind of showed it today too with Sami Zayn and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to talk about was the that Triple H announced that not the tournament but the Mae Young thing.
Yeah, that's the name of the tournament, the Mae Young
Oh,
Classic.
that's
That's the name
uh.
of the women's
oh,
tournament.
I was thinking, would it be better if they called it the Fabulous Moolah, because
I
and
mean,
stuff
you
like
can.
that?
People have said that since they made that announcement. What was it, around noon Pacific time or so? Right before that, it was right around the afternoon time they made that announcement. Some people have said,
Mhm.
call it the Fabulous Moolah because she was the champ for so long, or just call it the WWE Women's Classic, which is actually a very nice name in my opinion, just the Women's Classic. But I
Yeah.
mean, going Mae Young, it works either way because as far as WWE goes, they when they talk about Mae Young and Moolah, they talk about them on the same regards. Like
Mhm.
no one is better than the other according to how WWE promotes and talks about them. So
Mhm. The other thing I think they did, because she did more crazy stuff than the Fabulous Moolah as well, with the
right,
Dudleys
people
and
have
stuff
said that
like
as well.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep everybody waiting, so
Not a problem. Thanks
that's
for the
it.
call.
All right.
Have a good night.
You're welcome. You too.
So yeah, today, if you're unaware, Triple H put out on Twitter and WWE.com the name of the women's tournament. The women's tournament is to be called the this guy got me talking Moolah. It's called the WWE Mae Young Classic. He said that the first set of tapings will be July 13th and 14th, which we already knew, and that tickets do go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. They'll be taking place at Full Sail University. And that's all we know so far. We don't know who's going to be in it. We know it's a 32-woman tournament. They're supposed to be representing 17 different countries, and that's really all we know. We know that they just signed Kerry Hojo and Io Shirai, so maybe they can be representatives from, I guess, Japan. There are a few women I'm hearing from the UK. You've got plenty of women you can bring in here from the United States, like Rachel Ellering, Tessa Blanchard, Candice LeRae. And the big question still, though, is what does the winner get? What does the women that wins this whole thing actually get? Let's take this phone call here. Caller, you're on the air.
I have one quick question.
Go for it.
You know how Jinder Mahal just won the WWE Championship?
Right.
My prediction is they're gonna let his title run go for like a few months, and then he'll probably drop it to a returning superstar or somebody that's already on the roster.
Well, I think maybe because WWE is doing a tour of India, and I want to say September. Like I told the last caller, do not be surprised if Jinder Mahal is still the champion going into that tour, so they can promote, hey, the WWE champion's coming. He's from your country. Well, his descent is from your country, even though we know he was born in Canada. He's from your country, his family, his lineage, and then maybe not long after that, Mr. Money in the Bank can cash in on him, whoever that may be.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because that would be a
And
good
then
way. That would be a good way to get the title off of Jinder. You can still have him. You can build him up as this great champion or whatever they want to say, and then he just gets randomly cashed in on. So you can be like, oh, he was unaware. He wasn't expecting it. This came out of nowhere. It's not like he got beat in a match. So it's an out, kind of.
that's true. And then what about any? Have you heard any specific updates on that returning superstar?
Like who? I know John Cena's coming back on the 4th. Rusev should be back any week. New Day should be back. I mean, New Day should have been back tonight. They were there. They were on Talking Smack. New Day should be back next week. I think now that they finished Usos and Breezango, they should go into Usos New Day next week.
See, well, with that one going in, it's good, but the third man, I think, I think, I think, in my prediction is they're gonna win back the title, but Kofi Kingston or the other dude gets probably jealous or gets how could I say, like, has a falling out with one of
No, that's not
the
going to happen
other.
because if they were planning on doing something like that, then they wouldn't have done the whole thing where, well, New Day can't be on TV unless it's all three of them. The plan is to keep them together for right now.
What about Shelton Benjamin? There's
Shelton Benjamin isn't signed with anybody. Last time he made any sort of like announcement or update, it was right after WrestleMania, and he said, "Hey, I never signed with WWE. There was an agreement for me to come in, and then things didn't work out. And as of the end of April, he had said, I'm still not signed with any one specific promotion, but I'll be taking indie dates. So that's all we know right now.
But yeah, I I have a feeling when John Cena comes back, they're gonna do that whole Miz and Maurice thing again.
Miz and Maurice are on Raw, though. John Cena's coming back SmackDown.
Oh yeah, that's.
So, yeah.
I thought they had, because you know how they took him out of TV when he's doing movie roles and stuff.
Right.
I thought they were gonna bring somebody in to fill John Cena's spot for I don't know how many months they're gonna have him out of TV, but I thought they were gonna bring somebody in to just fill his spot,
Right.
and then
Well, I mean,
when
that's
he
what
comes back,
that's what Nakamura's supposed to be there for. That top baby face where John Cena was, that's now where Nakamura's slotted.
to me, I see him not as much as a baby face. I see him as a heel for some odd reason.
No, with that entrance and the song and everybody singing and always cheering for him, at least right now, he can't be a heel. He's got to be a baby face because the crowd's just behind him like a baby face.
But yeah, I'm always glad to be on the show.
Not a problem. I appreciate the call.
Anytime.
Not a problem. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. The phone line's crazy. If you want to call in, the number is 559-475-8473. Let's take this call right here. Oh. Let's see. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello. I was just wondering, what would you think the winner of the women's tournament would get?
In all honesty, what I think could happen is they get maybe like an NXT title match.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I can see being feasible. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. Nobody really knows. I've asked around, and people are just like, hey, this is being kept secret. Not much is being told to anybody, so everybody's just guessing right now.
All right. And also, how long do you think Ginger's title reign will be? Because I kind of think it won't go past Money in the Bank, but since you brought up that it is in Orton's hometown, there's a good chance they probably won't get it back.
Right. Like I said there, with it being Orton's hometown, nobody wins in their hometown. I mean, Bayley didn't even win in her hometown of San Jose. First time she's ever wrestled the main roster there. And like I said earlier, too, WWE's doing a tour of India in September. I wouldn't be surprised if Ginger's still the champion. Now, that is a ways away, September, so whether he loses it and maybe gets it back or something, but I can see them really wanting to go to India and do this tour with Ginger's picture everywhere, holding that WWE Championship on every single piece of promotional artwork and flyers and, you know, all the programs. I can really see that happening.
Yeah, I could see that, but I'm not sure if he would hold it that long.
Yeah,
he could get it back.
Right.
At some point. Yeah, but do you have any idea where Rusev is? Because he has been showing up the past couple weeks.
Well,
he said he was here.
Right. Rusev had been out with a shoulder injury. He had shoulder surgery a couple weeks before WrestleMania. Last week, everyone assumed he was going to be on the show because he had said, hey, I'm coming. And then instead, they were like, we don't need you. We're changing the plans. So he went to the hockey game in Nashville.
All right. Have the plans changed for him, or is he just not there?
It seems like they may have, because if you remember when he first started doing these little sending in Twitter video things, he was saying, I want a title match. I'm coming. I'm going to ask Shane. If Shane doesn't give it to me, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And then they just stopped even mentioning it. Last week they didn't make no reference to it. This week they didn't make a single reference to it as well. I thought maybe they would make a reference and say, well, you haven't earned it, so here's how you're going to earn it. But with them already putting all the guys in Money in the Bank, there's no spot for Rusev there. How does he earn it? Now maybe they got to wait till after Money in the Bank, because Ginger's going to defend against Orton. And like I said, there's no spots in Money in the Bank. So it just leads me to believe that something happened last Monday or Tuesday, and they go, never mind, we're changing our plans. Rusev, we don't need you right now. Go do what you want to do.
All right. And so, when do you think, Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis will debut on SmackDown?
I honestly couldn't say, because I don't know what their actual plans are for them. All I was told last week was that their contracts are pretty much signed. I don't know if they're 100% done or 90% done, but they're right around there, between 90-95% done, if not signed, and that anytime after Backlash they could bring him in.
Yeah. Do you think they will come back as heels or faces, though?
It's going to be hard because they're a better duo as heels, but the fans are really going to want to cheer when they first see Maria come back.
Yeah.
Especially the fans that only watch WWE, haven't seen her since she left, 6-7 years ago, didn't follow her working in Japan, working Ring of Honor, working TNA. So...
But is she going to wrestle though? Because
I mean, she can. She's become a way better wrestler than even when she was in WWE. And even if she's not for Mike Bennett, because people keep asking me, what do you do with Mike Bennett? Well, now that Ty Dillinger isn't in Money in the Bank, if Mike Bennett does come in before Money in the Bank, I can see a good program being maybe between him and Ty Dillinger.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think the potential for Mike Bennett on SmackDown is?
I mean, I can see him at least challenging for the United States title within a couple months.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
He's way better than people were saying, because everyone's like, oh, I don't want to see Mike Bennett. I don't care about him. But that's only people that have seen one or two matches of his or haven't seen really his full character and how he portrays himself and stuff. So once people see him and give him a chance, then they'll be like, okay, I see what the hype is about this guy. He's way better than I thought.
Yeah, I've only seen myself a couple of his matches, but I'm just open to seeing him come,
exactly,
and change up a little bit. I don't know what they'll do with him when he first gets there, but we'll have to see.
Exactly.
All right, thank you for taking my call.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call and have a great night.
All right, thank you.
So, Mike Bennett, Maria, we don't know what the plan would be for them as far as what they're going to do with them. Like I said, first question is Maria going to wrestle? Are they going to make her a wrestler, or is she going to be the Maurice to Mike Bennett's Miz? I would hope she wrestles because, like I said, she has gotten better. I mean, she was women's champion or knockouts champion in TNA. She held a championship in Ring of Honor, the Woman of Honor kind of thing. So, I mean, there's potential in both of them. A lot of potential. And before I get... I'll talk about that after SmackDown. So, they did the whole thing where they announced everybody for Money in the Bank. Everyone said their little thing, and then they made a match. Like I said, but they made Corbin Zayn, and then they made Ziggler Owens versus Nakamura Styles. We then had a tag team match, Charlotte and Becky versus Carmella and Natalya. Carmella got the heat on Becky during the commercials as the match. They did the thing, the picture-in-picture. It's a thing that USA is trying out where we're going to go to commercial, but you can still see the action on your screen. Now, here's the issue with this. As they went to commercial, You have Tom Phillips going, we're going to take a commercial break, but you can still watch the action on your screen as we go to commercial. But if you're watching in the UK on Sky Sports, or if you're watching in Canada on, I think it's TSN, or if you're watching on 10 Sports in India, it just goes to commercial. So you're like, hey, you told me I was still going to be able to see this, and I just go to commercial. So maybe they shouldn't have said that because it's only a USA Network thing. But during the commercials, Carmella got heat on Becky, which were, Charlotte got the hot tag, went to the top rope. Tamina tried to interfere, but Charlotte fought her off. Naomi came in to take her out with a crossbody. Carmella and Becky tagged in and then started fighting for a bit. Carmella falls to a disarmor, giving Becky Lynch the win as, like I said, Carmella tapped. The All Right match. Next up, we had Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. The match lasted really under a minute. And if you're going to build Baron Corbin as a monster, this is the perfect way to do it. And he just pretty much cradled Zayn for a flash win. Corbin jumped him after the match, further continuing WWE's crusade against wins and losses actually even mattering. Oh, no, Sami cradled Baron. There you go. Never mind. But what they did afterwards worked as far as making Corbin a monster kind of guy because he just beat the crap out of him. He threw him into the timekeeper's area. He took out a steel chair, slamming it on Zayn's back. He took him out into the crowd and gave him the snake eyes on a production table. Corbin kept beating him up until the referees stopped him. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat before we go on anymore. We've got MMA Matt is here. What's up? JJ, Sasha Banks Bailey. Broken T Hall. Broken T Hall says, Usos beat Breezango at Backlash. Then Usos beat Breezango in a Backlash tag team rematch. That is bull. Breezango deserves another chance at the tag titles. WWE pushed the Fashion Police. Hold on. I might have just got... What is this? Oh, never mind. Okay. Let's take this phone call here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello. What would you think they were going to do with Lana when she debuts?
Honestly, I don't know. I know in NXT on the house shows, they've just been using her as far as they're just taking random girls and letting her beat them with the Rusev submission finish. So I don't know. If you look at Smackdown, there's nobody that she can just go out and beat unless they bring in jobber women.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't have, if they're really trying to build Lana as anything, I wouldn't have her go out there, have like a competitive match with Carmella and then lose. And if they want to push Carmella right now, or just for example, they're not going to have Carmella lose to Lana either, because everyone's going to get mad because like, oh, it's Lana. Lana's not a wrestler. At least we don't think she is. So it's very hard to predict exactly what the plan is for Lana. Like I said, we know they want her to wrestle, or else they wouldn't have her on all the NXT house shows.
So, do you think there's any potential for her to become WWE SmackDown Women's Champion?
I mean, I don't think so. At least not for a long while. Maybe one day they just say screw it and do it, kind of like the gender thing.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I don't think, especially at first, because nobody is going to be behind her as a wrestler. I mean, we saw at WrestleMania 32, when she was in the ring, the crowd, I mean, granted, it was the pre-show, but the crowd was just like, they didn't care one bit that she was even in there trying to be competitive.
All right, yeah. I mean, you did bring up, like, earlier today on your channel, you brought up a women's Money in the Bank ladder match. You think you could, like, ever see her winning one of those? Like, you know, It doesn't have to... Oh, okay. Well, and also, the thing they had today during the women's tag team match, do you think they'll do this more often, or is it just like a one-time occurrence?
Are you talking about the picture-in-picture with the commercials?
Yes, because I've seen it a couple times, and I'm just wondering if...
It's something that the USA Network and NBC Universal really wants to try out. I know Fox does it with baseball and NASCAR. NBC has done it with NASCAR. And NBC's really wanting to try it out a lot right now because they want to do it for I think it's 2018 Olympics. So their thinking is if we do this picture-in-picture, people can still watch the programming. They can still watch the wrestling or whatever sport they're watching, and it's going to deter them from, okay, we're on commercial. Let me see what's on, say, TNT, and then go over there. Oh, there's a basketball game on. I'm going to stay here and then forget to go back. So if there's still some sort of action on the screen, their thinking is, well, they're not going to change the channel because, yes, you hear the commercial, not the action, but you're still seeing the action, so you still know what's going on, and you may not be as likely to change the channel. That's the thinking of it.
So, like, are they going to do this more, like, in the future? I mean, because I know they did this a couple of times, but it's not like a regular occurrence.
They
just like every couple of months.
Right. They did it 2 or 3 times in 2016, and honestly, I don't know how often they are going to do it. There was a big article about it last week on business. I think it was like a Business News Weekly or something. I don't know exactly that talked about it, and that they want to try to do it a little more regular, but I don't know how regular. Like I said with Fox, how they do it. It's like, say, a NASCAR race. Once the race gets about halfway through, that's all the commercials are from the halfway point. It's the picture-in-picture. So I don't know exactly with wrestling how much they would do it during a Smackdown or even a Monday Night Raw if they go that route.
Yeah. I heard somewhere that, like, it costs money to do it sometimes. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
What it is when you do the picture-in-picture, you're going to charge the advertisers less because they're not getting the full screen advertisement. So the thing is, you have the picture-in-picture, you charge them less because they're going to come at you and say, well, if the action's still on the screen, maybe they're looking at that. Even though they hear our commercial, they're not paying attention. So that might be what you're hearing as far as it's more cost-effective for the advertiser.
Yeah, that's... And my final question for tonight is, so, like, when the New Day comes to SmackDown because they were on Talking Smack earlier tonight, do you think they'll get a championship match at Money in the Bank and win it then, or do they hold off?
No, I think they teased it on Talking Smack because they came out and they were like, Renee Young introduced them like, New Day, they're here, and the first thing he said was, JBL said that the Usos the best tag team in the last half decade, and they went on, they ain't the best tag team. JBL just likes to say whatever he likes to say, and it don't make no sense. So yeah, they already teased that, JBL thinks they're the best tag team. We don't think they're the best tag team. Let's see who the best tag team really is.
Yeah, I was just wondering because they could like have the Usos like have a screwy finish at Money in the Bank and continue it to Battleground or SummerSlam.
Right, they could.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Would they do that or not, or would they just give the titles like directly to New Day?
I mean, they could, but at the same time, we saw with Breezango just got beat and then got a rematch. So honestly, Usos can win, and the New Day can just get a rematch.
Yeah,
because there was no it made no sense that they just automatically gave them a rematch. I mean, I get it. They had both guys beat the Usos one-on-one, so I think either way, the New Day should get the titles within the next month or two. I think.
Yeah, I was thinking like that kind of felt a little rushed. I don't know if it was like planned or like if the new because Kofi was injured a little bit. I don't know if he was like just cleared to come back recently.
Yes. Kofi was cleared, I think, last week.
Yeah, so I think they would have had this, so that I guess they just like done it for the sake of doing it tonight. So
right. It is to me, it was kind of like a thing where it's like, people didn't. All we knew was they're going to do the singles matches, and then it was like a anything can happen kind of thing with the whole. We're just going to do a tag title match because the Usos are saying let's do it. So they, the referee got on the headset, was like, what are you doing? What do you want to do? And they did it. So it was kind of like a anything can happen type of moment, which is cool that they did that because you gotta have the fans remember that anything can happen and it's not just what's always scripted. Even though that was what's scripted, it was still a nice little change from everything. You can tell when they're going through the motions.
Yeah, I was just wondering that because it kind of felt a little rushed to me. Like
right. I fully get that.
Yeah, but like I understand that Kofi was cleared. I was just wondering if they like cleared them like really recently, like in the past couple of days.
Right.
So I was just wondering if they like had plans for them at Money in the Bank, and they just found out about the New Day coming back, so they just scrapped it.
No, the plan was for New Day to be ready to go right after Backlash.
All right.
Yeah, because they
well,
knew
thank you for the call.
Right, because they knew Kofi was only going to be out for just a little bit of time.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
for the call.
you. Good
Have
night.
a great
Thank you.
So yeah, with the New Day, I'm pretty sure like they're probably getting that tag title match at Money in the Bank. They teased it on Talking Smack with the whole. They came out there and they were like, "What's with JBL saying that the Usos are the greatest tag team in the last half decade?" They're not the greatest tag team. And then it was funny because I think it was Kofi was like, "You just let JBL go out there and say whatever he wants to say. It's like nobody even has a say on what he does. He just does what he wants." It was pretty funny. So, yeah, they teased it there. I don't know why they didn't just have New Day come out after Breezango lost. That's what I assumed. Like, Breezango loses. Usos are in the middle of the ring like, what? We beat you again. And then you hear that, oh, Big E, it's the New Day. So, it would have been interesting. Let's see who's here in the chat. We've got R1 Go. We've got Stop the One. Ryan Armstrong thinking that Baron Corbin's going to win Money in the Bank. Oh, Derek Boak says, my dad said that Mahal looks like a mad terrorist. Oh, my God. You know what my wife said? My wife goes, when they were doing that whole, when they were doing the whole Punjabi celebration for Ginger, my wife goes, so ISIS took the blame and the control over saying, oh, we did those bombings in Manchester, and then you're going to have a big old ceremony for Jinder Mahal on TV. I was like, hey, he got the championship before all that happened. But anyways, let's take this call and then we'll talk more. We'll run down SmackDown a little more. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
I have one more quick question.
Go for it.
You know how WWE and TNA were fighting over the broken gimmick for the Hardy Boys?
Actually, we got some information today that they were not fighting over it. It's more just Matt Hardy and TNA, not WWE.
That whole situation when they started out in TNA or whatever,
right,
with that broken gimmick, to me, I think when in the whole situation with just TNA itself, almost going out of business, I feel like when they had left from that company,
right.
I think the person that had that idea kind of like complained.
The idea was always, the idea always came from Matt for the broken gimmick. And that's where Matt's whole thing is I came up with the gimmick.
I know he...
Right, but the issue is that he used it on their television first. It's not like he went to, say, Ring of Honor, used it in Ring of Honor, and then used it in TNA.
So
that's where
that
the
makes
issue
sense.
is. It's that it was first used in TNA. If he used it anywhere else before, TNA wouldn't have the right to say anything that they're saying. But since the first place we ever saw that gimmick was in TNA, that's where they kind of have the right to say, you know what, you got to buy it off from us, or you got to play our little game, which according to Ed Nordholm, who's in charge of Impact, he's now trying to say that this is all on Matt, and Matt's side is kind of stalling.
See, and then when a couple, I think, weeks ago, or a month ago, I think, you know how Ray Hardy went on a little little rampage with the words.
Right.
Right there, I guess she was mad and everything, but to me that was kind of unprofessional.
A little bit, for sure.
But at the same time, I could understand why she was kind of mad at the whole situation.
I understand, But Ed Nordholm, who was in charge of TNA right along with Jeff Jarrett, actually put out a very detailed letter today about how when Matt and Jeff left and they went to a Ring of Honor, he was trying to work with Matt as far as letting them use the gimmick in Ring of Honor, and he sent all the paperwork that needed to be sent to Matt's lawyer, and Matt and his lawyers were the one that were like, oh, we'll get to it, we'll get to it, we'll get to it. That's his side of the story, that they sent everything they needed to send to Matt, and Matt was the one that was procrastinating. And then like 2 or 3 days before WrestleMania, he sent Matt another email saying, hey, what's going on? What are we going to do? And then didn't hear from, according to him, didn't hear from Matt till like 2 weeks after WrestleMania. So TNA now is trying to say that Matt Hardy is stalling and that Matt Hardy is actually the one that's just not really doing everything he should be doing to get this from them.
See, yeah, I understand that.
Right.
But for the past 2 weeks and after WrestleMania, you know how he was kind of teasing it?
Right.
Now it's more evidence that he is stalling on that whole broken gimmick situation, because I have heard you say in some of your videos that they might break up the two Hardys.
Eventually they will. They have to eventually.
Let one of them do a solo run.
Right.
Which I feel Jeff Hardy would do better than his brother.
Especially if it's just regular Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I agree, because his brother back in the day, they give his brother more of a push than
that's for sure, but that's because
Jeff Hardy.
That's because the fans have always been more behind Jeff.
That's true. And see, with this new whole era, fatal 5-way, I think it is.
Right.
And then, you know how Brock Lesnar hasn't been on TV for a month or two, I think?
He hasn't been on scene since WrestleMania.
So, yeah, since WrestleMania. I think right there, that's cool to keep him off TV, but at the same time, maybe
I get what you're saying.
Maybe he will come back next week and interrupt one of the 2 matches that they have for the main event.
Brock's not scheduled to come back till June, which is after Extreme Rules.
True, but now they may say that, but at the same time, you never know what could go on.
True, but at the same time, leading up to WrestleMania, from like Fastlane to WrestleMania, Brock was almost at every show but never used on TV. So they wasted a lot of their dates then. So now they have to be very careful on exactly when they book Brock to come. Because Brock was doing between Rumble and WrestleMania, he did a lot of dark match stuff with the Big Show.
Oh yeah, that's true. And see, to me, when they bring him back after the
Extreme Rules
pay-per-view, I see him retaining the champion.
Oh yeah, he won't lose at Great Balls of Fire.
Which that pay-per-view is kind of weird, like the naming of it.
Right.
It came off kind of like, what is WWE thinking, like?
Exactly.
But at the same time, after that pay-per-view or whatever, and Extreme Rules, I think they're gonna have him drop it to whoever wins the few matches after the.
I honestly think if he's going to drop it to anybody, it's got to be Braun Strowman, and they're hoping Braun Strowman comes back in time for SummerSlam. But at the same time, I can honestly see Brock holding it all the way to WrestleMania and then losing it to Roman Reigns.
Me too, because you know how they said WrestleMania, I think weekend or the day of WrestleMania, that they're gonna make Brock Lesnar hold it from WrestleMania to probably just coming up WrestleMania again.
Right, that's been the rumor.
Drop it to Roman Reigns.
Exactly.
At the same time, I see him dropping it to Roman Reigns, but in a few months after that, I have a feeling that they might give Roman Reigns the few matches or whatever with the champion and let him retain it for a couple months and then probably drop it to a returning person or somebody that's on the roster.
Honestly, we can't predict that because we don't know what's going to be going on at this time next year. We don't know who's going to be moved brands. We don't know who's going to be out with an injury. We don't know who's going to be coming in as far as what new superstars are in NXT, what new superstars come up from NXT, and honestly, maybe they can bring someone to the main roster that skips NXT. We don't know. That's way too far in advance to even try to predict.
Yeah, that's true. And see, the two superstars that I think from NXT should come up is what's the name? The NXT champion.
Bobby Roode?
Yeah. They should have already, when he first signed, they should have just already shipped him to
yeah, but the thing is that they want people in NXT so they learn their style. And Bobby Roode has been amazing as NXT champion. So I'm not complaining on that one because I've liked him down there in NXT so far.
Me too, but at the same time, I see him exceeding on the main roster more than NXT because to me, I see that back in his TNA days and then a little bit farther than that, he had more experience now than he had back then.
Right, and I think he's even better now in NXT as the NXT champion than he ever was in TNA as like the TNA World Champion.
See, yeah,
so,
I agree on that. I see it.
I mean, we just got to wait and see how it all plays out. He's supposed to defend the title against Drew McIntyre at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and honestly, I don't know if he drops it or not. I don't think he should. I think maybe he should hold it till SummerSlam weekend, or not SummerSlam, but Survivor Series weekend, and then maybe drop it then. Maybe he holds it all the way till some Survivor Series weekend and drops it to Roderick Strong or something. Because they are trying to build up Roderick Strong.
That too, so. And the not to keep you any longer, but the Eric Young, his little team,
right? Sanity.
I think what they should do is when they send him to the main roster, they should send him with the two guys and do a dark match with Bray Wyatt with his two cult followers.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call. All right. So the whole thing, I'm just going to get into this. So Ed Nordholm. Okay, hold on. Let me finish SmackDown real fast. So we had Breezango stuff. We had the Fashion Files. They were in the back with Shane McMahon. They were like, hey, Commissioner, we want another shot. Shane says that they're going to each have a match. Jey Uso and tonight we'll see Tyler Breeze against Jey Uso, Fandango against Jimmy Uso. We then had the Jinder Mahal Punjabi Championship celebration. Indian dancers came out to celebrate. It was actually That was kind of cool, kind of whatever. At the same time, the Singh brothers were out there. Jinder was out there, of course. All the dancers were dancing around him in the ring. The crowd was booing like crazy. Jinder started talking. They were showering him with hatred, like I said, crazy. But 1.3 billion people in India are celebrating, according to the champion. And Randy Orton, he said that you can boo me, but I exposed you all as fools. Randy Orton is just like you all, like America. He is on the decline. Then he had another Lana vignette, and then we had Tyler Breeze defeat Jimmy Uso with a distraction by Fandango and a squirt gun. We then had Fandango defeat Jimmy Uso. Well, no, Tyler beat Jay. Fandango beat Jimmy. I get them mixed up all the time. Pretty quick match, and then they were like, give us another title match. Give us another title match. So the Usos were like, fine, let's do it. Let's do it. So the referee got on the headset and was like, what do we do? He then told ring announcer, Greg Hamilton, we're doing a title match. So they did a title match. The crowd was pretty into it. One of the Usos went for a dive on Fandango, got the knees up, and rolled him up for a good near fall. Fandango and Jimmy were fighting on the top rope when Jay tagged in. Fandango was unaware of this. He planted Jimmy with a top rope leg drop, but Jey Uso immediately followed with a superfly splash, picking up the victory. It was all right. I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool how it was kind of like an on-the-fly kind of thing that nobody expected. We then had they set up a fatal five-way because, Carmella came in and was like, I want a title match. Then Natty came in and goes, no, I want a title match. And then Becky came in and said, I want a title match. And then Tamina came in and was like, you know what? You've all had your shot. I haven't had my shot. Give me a shot. Charlotte then came in and said, no, I want a title match. I got screwed out of my title opportunity. And so Shane made an elimination fatal five-way number one contendership match for next week where the winner will face Naomi for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. We then had the main event, which was Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens. It's a pretty good match. Shinsuke Nakamura did pick up the victory. Him and AJ then stood in the middle of the ring looking at each other and looking up at the Money in the Bank briefcase as the show went off the air. I'm going to take this call, and then we're going to get into talking about exactly what happened today with Ed Nordholm and the Hardy situation. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Tim? I have a question.
Sure.
Mike, I wasn't on earlier, but I'm not sure if anyone asked. But I saw Shinsuke Nakamura pin Kevin Owens, so does he get a U.S. title match or no?
I don't know if that's the direction they're going. I know if you look at advertising for house shows, right now the advertising going forward does have Nakamura and Kevin Owens working U.S. title matches. Of course, it's a house show, so Nakamura would unfortunately be losing, which I don't think is a good idea because they're not going to have the title change at a house show. But I could see down the road Nakamura getting a U.S. title match. I know some people want to see him win Money in the Bank, but I don't think it's the right move, in my opinion.
Okay. I have another one. I heard that there was heat on Randy Orton before Backlash.
No, I haven't heard that. I know fans have been saying that they think he's boring. And to be honest, if there was heat on Randy Orton, they may not even have gone with Jinder because Randy Orton was one of the ones that was fighting for Jinder to get a chance. Like, they went to Jinder and was like, we're going to give you an opportunity. Randy really wants to work with you. So, I mean, if there was heat on Randy, they wouldn't even take what Randy was wanting to do into consideration.
Okay. Bobby Roode, do you think that he'll lose that title to Drew McIntyre at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn?
There's a good chance of that, but if it was up to me, I think he should hold the title a little longer, maybe, like I said, till Survivor Series weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just been killing it as NXT champion.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best I've seen him ever.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt him to keep that title till, like, Survivor Series weekend and then maybe come to the main roster around Royal Rumble time or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Like Ty Dillinger did?
Exactly.
That'd be awesome. Because, I was, going insane when I heard that.
Yeah.
Everybody has been asking the question, who is next for Asuka?
They want it to be Ember Moon. Ember Moon right now has a shoulder injury. I believe she doesn't need surgery, but she can be out for up to 6 months. Now, if they can get her to come back in time for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, then of course that's going to be the match. If not, they could go either Peyton Royce or Billie Kay, or they can do what they did last year Survivor Series weekend with Mickie James and just bring somebody in, some veteran for a one-off.
Yes, like I was thinking about that. Like I was like, why don't they go with Trish Stratus? Because that was the first option before Mickie James was.
Well, that's what we were hearing, but apparently Trish has gone on the record saying that she was never contacted for that. So I don't know what to really believe, because some people have told me, you know, they wanted Trish, but then they found out she was pregnant, so they went Mickie. So maybe she wasn't contacted, but they wanted her, and they found out she was pregnant before they were able to contact her. So maybe that was the situation.
Okay, and one thing that made me mad today is that Kevin Owens got put into the Money in the Bank. Like, what was that for?
He teased it on Talking Smack after Backlash. He said, okay, I'm the face of America, but I also want to be the face of the WWE Universe. He said that if I ever see Jinder backstage, I'll congratulate him and then tell him I'm taking his title. So he teased wanting to be WWE Champion on Talking Smack Sunday night.
Okay, because it made no sense to me at first, and then when you just explained it, it made a whole lot more sense now.
Right, he wants all the titles. He wants to be the face of everything.
I'm not sure if you heard this either or not, but I heard that the new Evolution was going to be Triple H, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and Pete Dunne.
That's something that fans have been trying to get out there since WrestleMania that was never in the plans for anything like that. They teased Triple H aligning himself with Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, but if that was ever even going to be the plan, they wouldn't have moved Kevin Owens to SmackDown. They would have kept him on Raw.
Okay, and I was listening to y'all's to your caller of the previous one, and I heard you talking about the Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. Do you really think Braun Strowman could take the title off of Brock?
I think if there's anybody, because we know the main event for next year's WrestleMania is scheduled. Now, whether it changes or not because something happens, we don't know. But it's scheduled for Brock versus Roman.
Sweet.
If they don't want Brock to hold the championship the entire time, but maybe lose it and get it back, the only person I can legitimately seeing them put it on would be Braun Strowman. I don't see anybody else that they would allow to actually defeat Brock Lesnar for the championship if it's not Roman Reigns.
Well, my thing is, I've been thinking, if Roman Reigns is facing Brock, is he going to win the Rumble, or is he just going to get the shot right away?
And that's the big thing. He doesn't have to win the Rumble, because now with the brand split we saw this year, a SmackDown guy won the Rumble. So they can do it to where he doesn't win the Rumble, someone from SmackDown wins the Rumble, and then at Fastlane, he wins some sort of number one contendership, or something happens for him to get the match somehow. So he could win the Rumble, but he doesn't have to win the Rumble.
Okay. I have two more questions to ask you,
Sure.
and I'll be done. I promise.
Gotcha.
All right, first one, do you see John Cena winning the world title at all, 17th time at all?
I think they are going to eventually do it. I think really I don't know if they should, but with how short his 16th world title reign was, and that wasn't on accident or anything. I mean, they did that on purpose for it to be so short, that I think there's going to be some sort of plan where they build something up and make him I think eventually he'll be that 17-time world champion, and that no one's ever going to be able to catch that, because the only closest person is Ric Flair, and he's not wrestling for championships anymore. So, yeah, I think eventually he'll get that 17th title.
Yeah, because I've been waiting for that for a while. I was so happy and excited when he beat AJ Styles at Rumble. He finally captured that 16th title. I was so happy. And my final question of the night is, if Roman Reigns does beat Brock Lesnar, which we probably know that it's probably is going to happen,
oh yeah,
who do you see him defending right away after he gets done with Brock?
Like I told the last caller, that's hard to predict, because first off, you don't know if they're going to be doing any more shakeups or drafts as far as who's still going to be on Raw. You don't know who's going to come up from NXT by then that they can make a big star, or if they sign somebody like a Kenny Omega next year and then they have him challenge, or if they just go the Braun Strowman route. We don't even know who's going to still be around as far as who's not going to be injured. Because if you were to look at it last year, okay, he won the championship at WrestleMania, And then most people were thinking, well, you can do him and Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins didn't come back till Extreme Rules last year because he was out with injury. So we don't know who's going to be around in 1 year. So that's really hard to predict right now.
Aren't they having a draft, you said, after SummerSlam or something like that?
There's been talks of it, but at the same time, Vince has actually told people, we did the Superstar Shakeup. 12 people shifted between each, like 12 people went to Raw, 12 people went to SmackDown. There may not be a need to do another draft. So right now, they may not be doing another one.
Oh, okay.
But you can
I
always
appreciate it.
Right, but you can always switch guys, like say after SummerSlam or after Survivor Series, or set something up where the general managers want to make a trade or something.
Could you see Randy Orton going to Raw anytime or no?
No, Vince is really pushing Randy Orton as like a staple of SmackDown. As far as like, you know, if you go see SmackDown, you're always gonna see Randy Orton.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause he's like that locker room veteran that they want there on SmackDown.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Have a great night. Thanks for the call.
You too.
Yeah, if there's any big star that I see leaving SmackDown for Raw in 2017, it would probably be AJ Styles. So before we take any more calls, I gotta talk this whole Ed Nordholm, Hardy Boys, Broken Universe situation. So Ed Nordholm of Anthem Sports and Impact Wrestling released the following statement regarding the ongoing legal issues between Impact Wrestling, Matt Hardy, and the Broken Gimmick. He pretty much said, "Good afternoon. In response to ongoing speculation concerning our position with respect to the Broken Brilliance creative, I am providing this detailed log of communications on the subject and the structure of our relationship with Matt Hardy. This is in respect to the intellectual property." He then went on to say, on March 10th, he spoke with executives in Ring of Honor about using the Broken Brilliance gimmick on their show. He said that he indicated to provide an arrangement that would allow their creative to use the gimmick with Matt on Ring of Honor television. The following day, March 11th, he spoke in length with Matt by telephone about a structure of an amicable agreement for use of the Broken Brilliance creative. On March 14th, Matt sent him a text message stating, "Tried giving you a call. It rang and went busy. I'm open to working things out as we spoke about. The lawyer who represents me is interested in seeing your offer. My lawyer's email is," of course they're not going to put that, "which you could send to the office for a review. Thanks." He then responded about an hour or so later, "Thank you, Matt. I'm supposed to be flying into New York City today and I'm a little twisted. I will put something together with our lawyers and try to get it to your lawyers tomorrow or Thursday at the latest." On March 16th at 8:25 p.m., he sent Matt another text saying, "Hey, my lawyer drafted something up. It's kind of late. I can't check it yet, but we'll send it out to you in the morning." He then responded again saying, Matt then responded saying, "Hey, thanks for the update." On March 17th, counsel from Anthem Wrestling delivered the draft proposal to Matt Hardy and his people. On March 24th, Anthem Wrestling followed up with Matt requesting comments on the proposal. On March 24th, Matt responded by saying that he's been away and has not reviewed the proposal, but would try to get to it in the next couple of days. That's March 27th. WrestleMania was, what was WrestleMania? April 2nd? WrestleMania 33 was April 2nd. So March 27th, Matt told Ed Nordholm of Impact Wrestling, "Okay, we got your proposal on using the Broken gimmick elsewhere. Let me look it over." Nordholm then is now saying that Matt did not contact him till April 18th. He said, "Counsel for Matt Hardy left me a voice message asking to arrange a meeting." He said he then contacted WWE by email to determine the internet rumors about what's going on with the internet rumors concerning WWE's interest. He then got a response, which he actually put a screenshot of the email where somebody from WWE told him, We have no interest in our end. On April 21st, counsel for Matt Hardy sent him a follow-up message requesting a meeting. On April 27th, the lawyers on both sides spoke about a meeting. And on May 16th, lawyers met, but no agreement was reached. The email that Nordholm sent to somebody in WWE reads, I have been approached by Matt Hardy's lawyers regarding the Broken Universe. And they have sent the dirt sheets alive with a lot of rumors about WWE trying to work with us. I'm completely open to a proper discussion if it's genuine. Then somebody from WWE said, thank you for your note. I talked to our team internally, and the rumors are just that. No interest on our end in getting involved. So that's where we're at right now. According to Ed Nordholm, he's got detailed information on everything, pretty much saying it's all on Matt right now. We've done what we've had to do. Matt and his side needs to do what they need to do to help us come up with some sort of agreement. So that's where we're at with the Broken gimmick. And if this kind of stuff keeps going on, I don't know if we're ever going to get it in WWE. Matt did a huge tease on Monday. Like, he was almost full-on Broken Matt in that interview. I don't know if we're ever going to see this in the WWE. But, Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, I was just wondering if who do you think John Cena's opponent at SummerSlam will be?
Now with John Cena, right.
If he has one,
right. I assume he would. He's coming back July 4th. SummerSlam's towards the end of August. But, I mean, if John Cena's going to be gone as much as we can expect him to be gone, what we're hearing, like he's not going to be around much at all, then he needs to be against somebody big, and maybe that'd be like a Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, I could see that. That's possible.
I just feel like if he's going to be gone a lot, then when he does come back, it's got to be like, a Brock Lesnar situation where he only faces the top guys.
Yeah, but how would John Cena be there for the build up all the time though? Would he or would he like?
No, if it's what I'm thinking, because John Cena's not going to half-ass anything. If John Cena's going to work a program for, say, Survivor Series, he'll make sure he's there for the build. He's not just going to show up one week and then not be there for 3 and then show up again. He's the kind of guy that if he's going to be involved in a story, he's going to make sure that he can be there for the entire thing. And even if he's only there on Tuesdays, not working house shows. Because John Cena's the type of guy that he'll go do an appearance on a Monday night, do an appearance on a Tuesday morning, and take a private jet to be there at Smackdown before the show starts. So he'll find a way to be there for every Smackdown leading up if he's in a prominent storyline.
Yeah. Okay. And my second question is, say if like Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar were to get somehow injured before WrestleMania next year,
right?
Who? I know it is a little ways away, but like, who do you think would fill one of their spots? And say if it was Brock Lesnar versus somebody, would they get the win over Brock?
Ooh, that's a big question because I believe Brock Lesnar's contract, his current contract, does expire at next year's WrestleMania. So then you have to look at, does he re-sign before WrestleMania? If he re-signs and it's not Roman Reigns, if he's held the title for a year, then he'll lose it. But if he's lost it once or twice between, then maybe he keeps it. And then the question also is, who does he face? I mean, it all depends on who challenges Brock Lesnar for that championship between now and WrestleMania next year, like you're proposing. If Roman Reigns is out with an injury, it all depends on who's already challenged him. Okay, if everybody that is legitimately can challenge him has already, who looked the best against him that lost? Or, say Braun Strowman takes the title from him, hypothetically at SummerSlam, and then he gets it back at like Hell in a Cell. then maybe they can do Braun Strowman because they're like, well, Braun beat him once for the championship, so let's see if Braun can beat him again.
And say another scenario, Brock was to somehow get hurt, which I don't really see happening.
Right.
But just say he gets hurt, what would they do? Would they have like a tournament winner faces Roman, or like what would you think about it?
If Brock gets hurt before WrestleMania, you have to think, okay, how do we get the title off of him? Because that's the first thing. You don't want people to know that, unless Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, you don't want people to know that, our plan is to do Roman Reigns the main event for WrestleMania again, because that's not something, everything's supposed to be real and happening in real time, not, we thought about this a year ago and we stuck with it. So it all depends on if Brock is still a champion, if he were to get injured somehow, and how you get that title off of him, whether he can work a match to lose, or if he has to drop it and then they set up some sort of tournament to crown a new champion, kind of like when Seth Rollins went down with his injury.
Yeah. So, but say Roman Reigns was to win the Rumble and they did a tournament like that, would Roman still win at WrestleMania, or would the person that won it?
I would assume that the big plan is to have the big Roman Reigns celebration as the champion at the end of next year's WrestleMania.
Because that'd be pretty anticlimactic for the tournament, and then Roman just comes in and wins.
Right, and like we're saying, it all depends on, hypothetically, in this hypothetical situation, when does Brock get injured?
Yeah.
If it's before Rumble, then it's okay. But if it's after Rumble, then I get what you're saying about the whole anticlimactic.
Yeah, I'm not sure, what you would do with that. And also, I don't know if this is a good idea for the overall character of Roman Reigns, because he will get booed even more from this, from beating Brock. When you have guys like Strowman,
right,
that could be taking on Brock, that are starting to get, a fan following.
Right.
Maybe a Finn Balor could be an underdog story.
Right, and
something
Finn,
like that.
They didn't do the Paul Heyman thing on Raw this week for Finn to not get a championship match. Whether that be at Great Balls of Fire or somewhere else down the road, Finn will be getting a title match sometime this year. Braun Strowman will be getting a title match. Right now they want that for possibly SummerSlam. It was supposed to be Great Balls of Fire. He won't be back in time for that. But Finn Balor should be challenging sometime this year. Braun Strowman should be challenging. I can maybe see, depending on how many pay-per-views Brock will work, maybe Seth Rollins challenging.
I heard a report, I don't know if it's true or not, but they were interested in maybe Brock versus Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam at one time.
No, I haven't heard that. Sure, I never heard that. The Hardys could still be together by then, to be honest.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I heard it. I just heard it one time, and I was just thinking about it.
I haven't heard anything even close to that.
Yeah. Thank you for taking my call.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call, and have a great night. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Tyson, number one fan, says WWE is not paying for a broken gimmick. Matt got screwed. Yeah. Whoever Ed Nordholm contacted within the WWE, which we don't know because while putting out these email screenshots, he did black out the name of who he contacted, which, of course, you have to do because you don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything. The person emails him back and says, "Thank you for your note. I talked with our team internally, and the rumors are just that. No interest on our end in getting involved." So it all comes down to Matt, and does Matt want to agree to their terms? Do they want to agree to any terms Matt has? And where do you go from there? So it's all on Matt right now. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Whoa. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? All right, lost him. Let's take this call instead. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Nothing much. What's up, team?
How's it going?
It's going good. SmackDown was kind of surprising because, one, Rusev is not in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, I thought maybe they would add him. I had heard earlier in the day that he wasn't going to be in it, and I had put out that story on the 6 men that would be in it.
Yeah, so with the card that they have right now, do you think they will put Corbin over Nakamura and Styles and Owens?
I could see Baron Corbin winning Money in the Bank.
Could you see maybe Dolph Ziggler winning it? I mean, he's won it before.
No. They've made Dolph Ziggler look too much like a joke that no one would take him serious as Money in the Bank briefcase holder.
Well, no one took Kane seriously back in 2010, and he won it, and then he cashed in the same night, won the world title.
Right, against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. So SmackDown was intriguing and disappointing at the same time.
I get that.
Yeah. The Usos and the Breezango match, all three of those matches were confusing. Like, it was Fandango and Breeze win both matches, and then they lose the tag title match.
Right. I mean, they had to lose with the titles on the line, though, because the
Yeah.
plan going forward is the New Day.
Well, New Day actually showed up on Talking Smack after
Exactly.
the show.
And they kind of called out the Usos as far as JBL calling them the greatest tag team in WWE over the last half decade.
Right. Do you think they will immediately put it on the New Day if Kofi is healthy?
Kofi, I believe, last week got cleared.
Okay.
They weren't going to have them come back until Kofi was cleared.
Okay, so do you think they'll just put the titles on him immediately?
I would not be surprised if that is what they do, because they need something new on SmackDown. And I mean, if they do, they honestly can keep the feud going, because Usos are going to need their tag title rematch. Of course,
Yeah.
Breezango did get a rematch tonight after losing on Sunday, so I mean they can do anything they really want, any way they want. But yeah, I can see them going the New Day as quickly as they can.
Yeah. Do you think, what have you heard anything on American Alpha and something going on with them? Because they haven't been on TV for weeks.
I haven't heard their names at all, except for the working house shows. Other than that, nothing.
That's upsetting, because when they came from the NXT roster last year, they were on fire, winning every match, winning through the Usos in, like, what, 2 minutes?
Well, not even that, but the Usos, when they feuded with the Usos for the first time on the main roster, it was bad because they really made Chad Gable just look like a guy.
It made him look weak, because every time he got beaten up, it was attacking right into that leg, and like he immediately went down.
So
it was bad booking.
Oh,
at that first
they've been booked really bad on the main roster. Yes, they're former champions, but
that didn't make sense at all, because Wyatt and Orton and Harper were coming off a big win, and then they were on good terms, on fire, and then immediately just dropped the titles to American Alpha.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't like the way they've used American Alpha at all on the main roster.
I hope they turn them heel, like made them back what they were in NXT when they first started. Like, they were this cocky duo, and they did whatever they wanted whenever they wanted.
But that's not even really what they were in NXT. What it was, the whole thing was, Ty Dillinger used to be teammates with Jason Jordan. They split up. Jason Jordan kept trying to find a tag team partner. He'd wrestle with a different partner every week, and Chad Gable was always there backstage. Let me team with you. Let me team with you. And Jason Jordan was like, no. And then finally he was like, fine. I can't find a good partner. I'll give you a shot. And they became a tag team. They had confidence in themselves because of their amateur background. It wasn't that they were cocky or anything or heelish. They were never heelish in NXT.
Oh, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, no, it was just the fact of that, Gable wrestled in the Olympics. Jason Jordan, he wrestled in college, and they were really confident amateur wrestlers.
Yeah. Do you think they could be calling up any NXT tag teams
Well,
in the near future?
the Revival did come up after WrestleMania. Wilder got injured, and they may be the ones behind the whole Enzo attack.
Well, I saw this article, and it put top 5 people who could have attacked Enzo, and number 5 was the Revival. Number 3 was Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. These are the ones I remember that were like the main names of it.
Right.
And then the number 1 on the list was Big Cass.
That's the speculation that some people are thinking, but we don't know. We won't know until hopefully next week or the week after.
Hopefully it was the Revival, because I do not want to see an Enzo and Cass feud, because
No,
that
because you would have to make Cass the heel and Enzo the baby face.
yeah, because Enzo's just too over with the crowd, but Cass would just squash him. It wouldn't even be a wrestling.
For sure.
So, do you think they're going to be calling up Aleister Black anytime soon, or maybe later in the year?
I don't know when, but they want him up soon. They used him on the main roster during the UK tour. They had him on main event. He took on Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah.
And they were very impressed with the reaction he got, how he came off in the ring, his presence, everything. The main roster people are very impressed with him, and I've heard that they want him up before the end of the year, like soon.
Well, the reason he's so over is because of that UK Championship tournament when he made his debut as Tommy End, as he was then.
Right.
And, like, that crowd went berserk. Like,
Well,
no one
that's where he came from. He's a UK guy, so they all knew who he was. They had been seeing him. They had seen him forever. Now, here's the thing now is, when he comes to the States, how is the main roster crowd in the United States going to react to him? It's been okay at Full Sail. He's been getting good reactions there. And we'll see.
Yeah.
He's taking on, I think it's Kurt Hawkins tomorrow night on NXT, which was filmed last Saturday before TakeOver. So we'll see what kind of reaction he got there in Chicago.
Yeah. So, have you heard any updates on the Asuka story? Because that's just a big blunder of, it's basically determining everything off one person.
Honestly, it all depends on if, last I heard, everything depends on if Ember Moon can make it back in time for TakeOver Brooklyn. If she can make it back, then she's going to get the championship match.
Yeah, and if she doesn't, have you heard of anyone, like, from the past that could come and face Asuka like they did back last year with Mickie James?
I haven't heard anything other than we hope Ember Moon can get cleared. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah. So, do you think that Itami will beat Cassius Ohno at this upcoming Brooklyn, because they had to face after that altercation in the backstage?
That's the way they're probably going. I can see him winning, especially if they want to build him up. Because, I mean, he just made a heel turn. So I would assume if he just made the heel turn, he should go over in the feud.
Yeah. Do you think determining if Cassius Ohno loses that he could maybe come to the main roster, like...
No, there's no plans right now for him to come to the main roster. They really like him in NXT as far as helping out younger guys, and he's somebody that he's worked for WWE before. He knows how WWE wants things to be done. So when new guys come into NXT, he's somebody that they can rely on to say, hey, this is the WWE way. This is the WWE mentality. This is how we're going to work this program according to how WWE would want it done, not how you're used to wherever you came from.
So basically he's becoming the Andreas Cianelmis of NXT.
Right, like Ty Dillinger used to be.
Yeah.
Whether he comes up to the main roster or not, I don't know. Like I said, right now they just want him down there to help others out.
Yeah. So the Money in the Bank announcements were confusing. I was kind of upset because Owens isn't defending the title like we thought he would.
It plays into what Owens said as he wants to be the champion of the WWE. He wants to be the face of WWE, so he wants both titles. And in all honesty, I think it'd be cool if he's WWE United States Champion and holding the Money in the Bank at the same time. I don't think they would go that route, but it would be something that would be cool, and it would be something that's different.
Well, we've only had one other person do that, and he wasn't entirely over with the fans.
Right.
Why is AJ Styles in the Money in the Bank? Because he was supposed to face Owens at Money in the Bank in like their rematch over.
Well, it's fine that he's in there because Owens is in there too, so they can always go back to Owens and AJ Styles after Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Well, based on the people who are in there right now, I see two rivalries already busting each other and like making each other not win. So it's basically anybody's ball game because every wrestler in there has a rivalry with another opponent. Like Nakamura has Ziggler, and then Styles has Owens, and then Corbin has Zayn.
Right. It all makes sense. And that's usually when you do go into Money in the Bank, there's a lot of feuds that get thrown in. Like last year, we went into Money in the Bank, and Dean Ambrose was in there. He was feuding with Jericho and so on. So we do see that a lot with Money in the Bank, where feuds get thrown into the Money in the Bank ladder match. But
yeah, do you think possibly they're going to add a seventh man?
No, it's gonna be 6. I was told today that it's 6. It's the 6th that they are going to announce on SmackDown, which they did announce on SmackDown, and that's the route they're going. They're not going to add a 7th man. I know everybody wanted them to add Ty Dillinger, but I don't know what their plans are for Ty Dillinger right now.
Have you heard anything on the women's Money in the Bank?
All I've heard is that they want to do it, but that's all that they've said. The Pro Wrestling Sheet put out that story today that it's in the plans, but as far as who's going to be in it and how many, nobody knows.
All right, so the Extreme Rules is a week from Sunday, right?
Correct.
What is your prediction for the Fatal 5-Way?
Finn Balor or Seth Rollins?
That's what most people are going. I think it's going to be Balor based on what they did with Heyman and how Rollins got basically bullied over by Reigns.
Right, but if Rollins keeps losing leading up, like if he loses again next week, don't be surprised if Rollins wins at Extreme Rules, because that's how WWE does it. You lose so you can get that big win.
Basically, they did that with Zayn.
So.
Oh.
But, all right, I'm going to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
All right, you too, man.
All right. Robert Cathy showing up late. What's going on? Says, had to help my junior with his science project. Not a problem, hey. At least you made it. Robert Cathy on that Cali time. He always calls me out on the Cali time. Well, he's on that Cali time right now. Let's see what else you guys are saying here in the chat before we take some more phone calls. You got the line going crazy. Actually, I got to hit my shameless plugs real fast. If you want to help donate and help support Pro Wrestling Unlimited, you can do so by heading over to gawkbox.com/PWUnlimited. Go on their website, watch a 15 or 30-second video clip, download an app, interact with that app, and then their supporters, their advertisers, tip that back to me. Doesn't cost you anything, and it's best done on a tablet or a mobile device. Also, if you want to donate to the show, you can do so if you're here live by hitting that super chat button. You can go to our Streamlabs page, link in the description below, or you can go to our GoFundMe, gofundme.com/helpupgradepwu. And finally, if you guys want, you can head over to our TeePublic store and get our t-shirts, but any of our t-shirt designs can also be purchased as stickers, cell phone cases, notebooks. I mean, it's endless, and we do have our two newest t-shirts, the I'm a Jinder Mahal Guy shirt, which is a perfect shirt right now if you want to support the new WWE champion, and we also have our Braun Strowman I'm Not Done With You Yet t-shirt. Again, link for that. All the links to help out Pro Wrestling Unlimited, to donate to us, to go to the TeePublic store, all the links are in the description below. AJ Moore says the numbers are all small on my phone. Well, if you want to call in, the phone number is 559-475-8473. That is the phone number if you want to call in. Tyson #1 fan says Aleister Black equals double equals future star. He has something special about him. That's very true. Sasha Banks Bailey says AJ Lee should return and face Asuka. I can see it, but she's very happy right now not wrestling, and it has nothing to do with her husband being CM Punk. I know people try to say that all the time, that, oh, she don't want to come back because of Punk. No, it's that she's happy with what she's doing. DCOS1972 says Alpha will be more wasted than New Day return. Oh, man. John Cena could be a surprise entrant in Money in the Bank. No, they're not adding a 7th person. John Cena is not supposed to come back till the July 4th Smackdown. So, Rebellious Trap says, what happened to Rusev? We don't know. All we can assume is that whatever plan they had for Rusev, they canceled it. Because literally, they talked about Rusev for weeks and weeks, and then last week, they didn't even whisper his name. This week, no whisper. Rusev will come back and supposedly feud with Shane. I've heard that one. I reported it because it's something that I have heard, but we don't know. We don't know exactly. Like I told you when I reported it, it's a rumor right now that's got a little bit of steam. Robert Cathy says WWE handled American Alpha terribly. That is very, very true. I don't know what they were thinking about when they brought American Alpha up and used them the way they did, but let's take this call. This caller's calling in nonstop. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hi. I watched Smackdown today, and it was a good show. And I really did like the show, and I think my prediction for when Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton at Money in the Bank, I have a prediction thinking that Rusev will interfere with that.
Maybe.
Will interfere with that and cause, he'll probably cause a distraction or something like that to where Jinder Mahal will still keep the belt, but Randy Orton will, still, win.
Right.
By distraction, and then they'll start a feud with Jinder Mahal, and because there was rumors going around that Jinder Mahal and Rusev were going to feud.
Well, the whole thing with that was that Rusev kept saying in videos, "I want a title match. I want the title match at Money in the Bank." So what led to the Rusev Jinder rumor was that, well, if Jinder's the champion, if they do go the route of giving Rusev the title match of Money in the Bank, then you have to go Jinder Rusev. But now, with it looking like whatever plan they had for Rusev was canceled, we don't know what the plan would have been if they did go Rusev getting the title match of Money in the Bank.
And also, have you heard anything about Maria debuting or anything? Because I heard rumors that she was going to debut this week.
Well, no. What it was last week I heard that they had signed, or that the contracts were like 95% finalized, and that they could be on the main roster on SmackDown anytime after Backlash. People were saying that it could be this week, but it is anytime after Backlash. I have a feeling,
and also I have a feeling that they're going to stick her with the feud with Charlotte. That would be, or they could team up together, because like how in TNA she teamed up with I forgot her name,
right,
but
Laurel Van Ness.
Yeah, Laura Van Ness, and I have a feeling those two, Charlotte and Maria, would make a good, team, because
right, but the thing with Charlotte is Charlotte's made it known that she doesn't need anybody's help. She had Dana Brooke forever, but Dana Brooke was just a whatever to her. She never cared about Dana Brooke, so I don't see her making any kind of tag team or faction or heel stable or whatever with Maria. And to be honest, we don't even know if they're going to have Maria wrestle. She may just be out there to be like Maurice is with The Miz with her husband, Mike Bennett.
Yeah, because that's what also I was thinking that too, because now that Raw has The Miz and Maurice, SmackDown needs another married couple for
Right.
SmackDown, and that's what I was also thinking, to have, Maria and her husband be, the next, or the Miz and Maurice of SmackDown.
Exactly. But like
So
I said, with them, the word I was given was anytime after Backlash, and so people were just trying to spin it to, oh, it's the week after Backlash, but it's anytime after Backlash.
Yeah, and I'm excited for the New Day to get back, because they'll be perfect for the SmackDown brand.
Right. And with them being on Talking Smack tonight, they have to be on Raw or SmackDown next week.
Yeah, because and they're calling out like every tag team, and they should go after the Usos to get their match, because
right.
they've been gone for so long.
Yeah, they basically did call the Usos out on Talking Smack with the whole, they're like, well, JBL said the Usos is the greatest tag team in the last half decade. Well, ain't that us, longest reigning tag team champions ever? So yeah, they kind of planted the seeds for that on Talking Smack. But at the same time, things that happen on Talking Smack don't always transfer over to actually SmackDown Live sometimes.
Yeah, and I think and by Extreme Rules, I think Austin Aries will get the belt from Neville.
Right, he has to, because that would be 3 losses in a row with the championship on the line. So he has to get that title this time.
Yeah, and I also saw in it like a dark match somewhere that Bad News Barrett wrestled.
Yeah, he's wrestled, I forget where it was, but yeah, he did wrestle recently.
So yeah, and I hope and pray that, I also have a feeling that once CM Punk wrestles in England, he'll have an itch to maybe
CM Punk is not
someday.
CM Punk is not doing the 5-star 128-man tournament.
He's not?
No, they offered him $1 million to do it, but he's not doing it. There was a fake Twitter account that was made to look like the owner of the company, and that was fake. I don't even think he's even responded to the offer.
Yeah, he should
he
still
doesn't
stay
want to
in.
wrestle. He wants to fight.
Yeah, he wants to do MMA, and
right.
And the more he practices, maybe the more better he gets. He'll get better and better, and I think he'll do pretty well.
And honestly, even if he did want to do that tournament, legally he couldn't, because he's still under contract with the UFC.
Yeah, so I think he should do really well in UFC. Even though he lost one loss, is just one loss, and he should just take that loss and get over it and keep practicing and
right.
get
I know
better.
what you're saying, but he did start at the age of, what was it? He was already 37, 38 when he first started training. So that is, kind of late, and I don't know. I don't think in UFC he's going to have any success. I think if he were to have any success, it would maybe be in Bellator, because they're a kind of company that they'll find him somebody that he can beat, and they won't try to have him go out there in any sort of a competitive competition. Like with UFC, they found Mickey Gall, who was somebody that could be competitive with anybody. But in Bellator, if he were to say go there once he gets out of his UFC contract, they'll go find some random anybody off the street with no training to fight him.
And also, have you heard anything about any Rey Mysterio news?
Other than he's wrestling Mexico, he's wrestling in the UK, and he's still technically under contract with Lucha Underground till this season's over. But as far as him coming to WWE, his name never comes up.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they're probably starting to lose interest in Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, with WWE, his name never comes up. He's taking bookings all around the country, in Mexico and the UK. I know he just did the show a couple weeks ago for Paige's family, the same show that Del Rio fought Paige's father. So,
Mhm.
so yeah.
Yeah, and I think they should let Paige go and have Paige, go to TNA and be with her or fiance.
Well, the whole thing right now is, one, she's under contract with them, and two, they got that movie coming out that they want her to promote once, they start rolling out the promotion for that.
Yeah, and also I was also thinking that if once Abyss's contract is over with TNA, they should have Abyss come to WWE, because Kane is no longer,
I don't see that
around
happening.
anymore.
Abyss is going to start slowing down here. He's taken I believe he's taken a backstage role within TNA, and he's a TNA lifer. He was there when they first started the company. He's somebody that I can see being there forever, never leaving, and just eventually taking a backstage role as far as like a producer or working creative. So I don't ever see Abyss coming to WWE. Yeah, we're getting crazy, Steve. Yes, they're interested in Rosemary as well, but I see Abyss as a TNA lifer.
Yeah, and also I hope King, the guy that Glenn Jacob does a good job at what he does now, and he should retire and like Undertaker, because he's getting older now and he's no longer showing up on WWE anymore.
Right.
They don't even talk about him that
Right,
much.
because he's getting ready to run for mayor of his hometown.
So yeah, but he should just say he's done with WWE and just say that he can come back as like a part-timer or something. If this mayor thing doesn't go well, he could come back like as a part-timer or something. But he should just retire like the Undertaker,
Right. But, all right, I got to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
Okay, thank you.
Not a
Bye-bye.
problem. Sasha Banks Bailey says, when is Stephanie McMahon coming back to Raw? That's unknown. She took the bump at WrestleMania so she can get off TV, and she wants to spend time with her daughters. I don't know if I know she was at Raw when they were overseas because she did media and stuff that Monday. People were saying that she could have been on the show that day because she was backstage. But, yeah, I don't know when she wants to actually return to TV. She does this every year. She takes a little time off right after WrestleMania, a month or two, and then we go from there. But let's take this call right here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello. I was just wondering, because somebody talked about it earlier.
Okay.
If Zack Ryder had not have gotten injured, do you think the Hype Bros would have won the tag team titles at the wild card back at the end of the year?
No, I don't think they would have won the tag titles. They were just going to give the opportunity, but I didn't see them winning them.
Okay. What exactly do you think they would have did with it?
You know, Zack Ryder won that Battle Royal for his team. They got the championship opportunity, and then Ryder did go down with injury. I mean, I honestly just thought they were going to get the match and lose. I didn't see anything really coming of it.
So, how long do you think the Wyatt family would have kept the titles?
I honestly think that the plan that they went through was the plan that they were going to do. It was going to be, nothing would have been really much different than what actually happened.
Okay. And what do you think they will do with Zack Ryder when he comes back?
That's going to be very interesting because I don't see them putting him back with Mojo. They want to build Mojo up as a single star. Obviously, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But if they put Zack Ryder back on the main roster by himself, I see him just being the Kurt Hawkins of SmackDown, to be honest. Just losing, jobbing, maybe getting a win every here and there. So I don't see them doing anything significant with him on his own.
Yeah, we should never know.
I mean, you always have that out where it's like, well, we're not doing anything with Mojo right now. We're not doing anything with Zach. We can always stick them back together as a random tag team.
Yeah, I could see that. And also, I know it wouldn't happen right now, but do you think they'll ever bring Hideo Itami to the main roster?
I've heard rumblings of maybe for the Cruiserweight division, but I don't know exactly when that would be. I know that they want to keep him in NXT for a little while to make sure he doesn't get hurt again.
Yeah, but, like, to be honest, there's, with all the new NXT signings and them going to the main roster while he's been hurt, I don't see him finding much success on the main roster.
Right, I agree with that, and I think the best thing they could do with him is make him competitive in the Cruiserweight division.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for the call.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call, and have a great night.
All right.
All right. Robert Cathy says, Rosemary as Sister Abigail. A lot of people keep saying that. Robert Cathy also says, why have an Abyss when you still have Kane? Well, I think that caller that asked about Abyss coming over, her thing was, well, Kane's gone. We need a superstar like Kane. Why do you need a superstar like Kane? We've had a Kane. We don't need another Kane. That's like saying, well, Undertaker retired. So who can we make like an Undertaker character? We don't need another Undertaker character. We don't need another Kane. So, Robert Cathy says Zack Ryder is going to be a jobber. David Lavery says, I heard Mark Henry retired. Yeah, he's pretty much retired. He never made it official, but he pretty much said 2017 is his last year. He's slowing down, not going to really wrestle anymore. And if they don't want to, he said in an interview, if they don't want to use me this year anymore, that's fine. I'll go back to Silsby and just spend the time with my family. He's cool with, he says that he's had a great career. He's enjoyed everything that he ever did in WWE, you know, former world champion, been on top, been on bottom, and hey, he had a good run. Let's see. No, David Lavery says Rosemary versus Nikki Cross. That could be good because they're both really good. And the only thing with that is, okay, you're saying that because they're both kind of crazy in their gimmicks, but we don't know what kind of gimmick they're going to give Rosemary if she does come. Because you got to think about it. They want her for the women's tournament. Her contract, which is expiring with TNA soon, may barely expire in time. And so if something does happen where it doesn't expire in time, or because I don't know when her contract actually expires, I've just heard that it could expire right before the tournament. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yes. Do you know like when the next World WWE draft will be?
As of right now, they're going back and forth on that. Some people are saying that they want to do another draft. Some are saying that Vince said, no, we don't want to do another draft. If you really look at it, the Superstar Shakeup had 12 people move from SmackDown to Raw and 12 people move from Raw to SmackDown. With that, that's draft numbers right there. So some are thinking that this Superstar Shakeup may have been the 2017 draft. We can't confirm 100% that they're not going to do another draft, but as of right now, don't be surprised if they don't do another draft, because some are talking and some do feel that they don't need to do another one because they moved so many people already.
Okay. Do you know when Dean Ambrose next feud will be with?
I honestly don't know. I think it depends on, first off, if he keeps that title at Extreme Rules, and I've heard that he's good chance he loses it to Miz. So then with that, it's just the thing of what babyface on Raw or what heel on Raw could he feud with? I mean, you've got Bray Wyatt. Maybe he feuds with Elias Sampson after Extreme Rules. And, of course, if he does lose that title Extreme Rules to Miz, they've still got to keep the Miz and him going because he's guaranteed a rematch.
Okay, but I've heard rumors that they might be considering turning Dean Ambrose heel.
Some people are saying that, but I haven't heard anything legitimately that can confirm that to me.
Okay, and I have one more question.
Sure.
Do you know if the show will be getting back together?
Who? The Shield?
Yes.
I know fans want it. I honestly think it could be a horrible idea because right now you've got Dean Ambrose, you got Seth Rollins, the crowd's behind them. You've got Roman Reigns, who the crowd loves to hate. If you put the Shield back together, you're going to hurt any momentum that Dean Ambrose has with the fans, any momentum that Seth Rollins has with the fans, and it's just going to really take them down about 10 notches. So I haven't heard anything, and in my opinion, it would be a very bad move.
Okay, thanks.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call, and have a great night.
You too.
All right. Let's check the chat here again. Robert Cathy says, Rosemary and Bray team up. That would be spooky, crazy, and so much damn fun. Blackout 0824. Who do you think is going to... I think you're asking who's going to win Money in the Bank since Rusev isn't in it. Like I've been saying, I really think they can go Baron Corbin. I think Kevin Owens would be cool because he's already got a title. We've never seen a champion have the Money in the Bank, so that would be a cool dynamic. David Laver. All right, David Laver's got a cool question here. What NASCAR track are they at this weekend? Well, this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, it's one of the biggest race weekends of the year. Sorry, this ain't wrestling related, but he did ask. Indy 500 this weekend, Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon, evening is the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That is where NASCAR is and the Indy cars. It's the some people think it's the biggest race weekend of the year. Some say it's the second biggest. It all depends on where you put the Daytona 500 and the Indianapolis 500 in your preference. Robert Cathy says the Shield and CM Punk wrestling question should be banned. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. I think Baron Corbin can win it. I mean, hell. Shinsuke Nakamura? He said, call me Mr. Money in the Bank. So maybe. You're welcome, David. I love NASCAR as well, just as much as I love wrestling. But, all right, guys. With that, I'm going to have to say thank you for joining us here in the live stream tonight. I enjoyed this. Great listeners, great callers, great chatters, great everything tonight. Thank you to everybody who has bought our t-shirts, who has donated, who has checked out and helped out with the Gawk box over there. And one last thing, Rebellious Trap says, any news on Paige? Nothing. Last I heard was she should be cleared sometime over the summer. WWE doesn't want to release her right now because of the movie. And yeah, that's about it. But again, thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Listeners, callers, people that chatted in the live chat, everything. Again, thank you. And we should be live again Friday morning for our weekly recap show, talking everything that happened this week in pro wrestling. Thanks, guys, and have a great night.